Life Unrehearsed, brought to you by Lianas Senior Transition Support, specialists in downsizing and seniors residences.
Welcome back to Life Unrehearsed. Yes, we're talking about dressing up. My name is Matt Del Vecchio, specializing in life transitions, downsizing in the senior living industry.
And I'm Corey Sirota, clinical social worker and author of Someone Died, Now What?
Now, Corey, before we get started, we have to do a very important shout out to a mutual friend of ours, Isabel Kahn. She is organizing a wonderful walk. It's called the Mental Health and Suicide Awareness Walk Montreal. It's going to be held on Saturday, September 11th at 1 p.m. at Mount Royal. So if you need a little bit more information about this important walk, they have a Facebook page. It's under the same name. So just look it up under Mental Health and Suicide Awareness Walk in Montreal. And Isabel's just doing a fantastic job bringing awareness to this and helping out a lot of people. So, Corey, I've been looking forward to this because you caught me a little bit off guard with this term cosplay.
Yeah, I did, you did, we did. You know, Matt and I are often wondering what topics to use. And of course, my daughter, who has been a tremendous help with coming up with some of the ideas around Life Unrehearsed Issues, says to me, why don't you interview an old friend of mine, Aileen? She's a cosplayer. And I'm like, a what? So she starts to explain it to me and I say, Matt, we should interview someone who does cosplay. And he says
basically, what? Until I start talking to my kids about it. Oh, come on, Dad, you don't know what cosplay is. And it's like, I'm the minority now. So if you haven't heard of cosplay, we're going to hear a lot about it. And Corey, go ahead, because it's fascinating.
Yeah, look, I'm really grateful that Aileen and her sisters agreed to come on the show, so we're very lucky to have guests who are younger than us, clearly, who can help us out. So we have on the line the Estrada Sisters, who are cosplayers from Montreal. They've been making their own costumes, wigs, props, etc. since 2010. They travel nationally as well as internationally as guests at conventions and events, have their own YouTube channel for cosplay, and are actively content creators on social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. Ladies, welcome to Life Unrehearsed.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Got that in unison. So we have Carmen, Samantha, and Aileen on the line, and we're really excited to chat with you. So I guess I'm going to start with this one. For us old folks that had no idea, can you explain what cosplay is?
Yeah, for sure. So cosplay is basically dressing up as your favorite characters from series that you love, movies, comics, games, whatever you choose. You can either make your costume or buy your costume. We prefer to make our own costumes.
We love it because it basically encompasses a bunch of different skills that we all have. Like we're artists, so we love to do prop making, sewing, wig making, and it's gotten really big over the past, we would say 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you want to be like a superhero, or if you want to make a 10-foot robot, you can. Basically, you're only limited by your imagination.
Yeah.
And imagination and creativity are all part of it. It is quite interesting. And I'm intrigued. How did you even get started in this field?
Yeah. Well, we always loved Halloween when we were kids. We've always had a huge Halloween party at our house, and we just loved dressing up. So we found out about the first Montreal Comic-Con in 2010. And that's when we first got a feel for the scene and everything. So we really loved the community. And from there, it just took off. We were obsessed with dressing up and getting to basically do it all year round instead of just around Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from there, for our social media accounts. And
it's so interesting to me that you do this because it's more than the dress up, though. My understanding is that you act in character and you're often experts at the subject matter of the characters. Is that true?
Yeah, when you're passionate about something, you really get into it. Like, if you love a character and you love dressing up as them, you also like acting as that character. And you can make videos, you can make things with your friends, make videos. Yeah, and while you're making the costume, you're basically doing so much research on it. So you really get involved in the character and the series and everything that you're you're creating. So it's very it's very in depth.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking with the Estrada Sisters, Aileen, Carmen, and Samantha, about cosplay and how dressing up in costumes for events. And you have not just gained national recognition, but international recognition. Good for you guys. And you must constantly be trying to create things. And I'm interested in, how do you find your inspiration? What inspires you?
Yeah, so I think it's basically just like our favorite shows, movies. We do a lot of older stuff too, like movies from the 80s.
So, Corey, older stuff, movies from
yeah.
the 80s.
Okay. Ouch.
Yeah, I also do like, this is Aileen talking, by the way. I do I Dream of Jeannie, so that's like super retro.
You're going to laugh because I was going to, Harry Potter, of course, and all of them. And so the two characters that I was going to ask you about that maybe you're not even heard of it, one of them was I Dream of Jeannie, and I'd love for you to also do Archie Bunker. How about that one?
Oh, yeah, no.
For some people, they may listening, the younger ones might not even know an Archie Bunker, but I get that in for us, Corey. But it's amazing, and you talk about inspiration, and it's nice to hear. Look, you saw a movie or a character, and you sort of transform into one of these characters.
Exactly, and I think a lot of it is when we're inspired by the way that the character looks to, like, their costume. We just feel like we would be able to recreate it. And fun.
Or what we're currently watching or something like that. What we're really inspired by at the moment. Yeah, like we'll be watching, let's say, the new Loki TV show. So Sam and I are working on cosplays from that. So it's also like what's current and what we're enjoying at the moment. It's fun to find your special niche when you're in cosplay. People that
Fair enough. I have a question though. I want to know who gets to decide who wears what.
We get asked that a lot, actually. It's basically we judge it by like if we're doing a group cosplay. Yeah, if we're doing a group cosplay, it's always like who we all think we would each suit. Generally, we all know like which type of cosplays we like to do, and we know already who we would kind of want to cosplay. But there are some times where we would fight over a certain character or something like that. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, the sister and sibling squabbles over which character. That's Aileen, Carmen, and Samantha Estrada. And you're doing a good job. Unfortunately, we can't have anyone in studio, so we're hearing voices. You all sound alike, but you're doing a good job interchanging. Good stuff. Real quick before we head out to traffic, I know those that have heard of cosplay, there are some misconceptions out there. Can you tell us some of them?
Yeah. I think people underestimate like a lot the amount of work that goes into it, and
they might not take it seriously because they think like it's just a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
But there's actually so much work that's involved. Like when you make props, for example, like it takes up a lot of time, a lot of energy. So I think people just really tend to underestimate it for that reason. They tend to think it's something that's like just for kids or something. But basically, when you're a cosplayer and you're creating your craft and you're doing everything by hand, you're trying to figure out like how to make things work, basically by seeing it on screen. I mean, they have huge teams, but we're just one person. So we often have to almost be like a costume engineer and figure out how to put things together on a physical level, if it's like a cartoon or something like that. So there's a lot that goes into it.
I think it's fair what you're saying, absolutely. And we did put on our Life Unrehearsed Facebook page, and I would encourage other people to check out some of your costumes, and we're going to talk about them after we have a quick traffic update. But just when we come back, I also want to know what you would suggest as a tip to people who hear this say, I want to do it, how they should start off. But first, we're going to go hear Mark Shaloub at the CJAD Traffic Center.
Life Unrehearsed, brought to you by Flora Lee Senior Residences. Always there for you. Safe, reassuring, and comforting. We call it home.
Welcome back. You're listening to Life Unrehearsed. I'm Corey Stroda along with Matt Del Vecchio, and we are talking with Aileen, Carmen, and Samantha Estrada, aka the Estrada Sisters. They're internationally acclaimed cosplayers. So, ladies, somebody hears this and says, I love this. I want to do this. Now that I understand what it is, of course, I want to do it. What's the tip? What's some suggestion you'd give an emerging cosplayer?
We would say start small and just build up your repertoire from there. So also don't ever think you can't do something, because it will honestly shock you what you can accomplish when you set your mind to it. We would also say, like, don't ever limit yourself. Do a lot of research on your character, the costume, the techniques, and different fabrics. And don't be afraid to try a new technique, because trial and error are basically your best friend when it comes to cosplay.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I like that. Just no barriers. Go for it. And some will work, some may not work, and you move on. But go for it. That's, I know my stepdaughter was very interested in that and went to a couple of Comic-Cons. And you know what? It's a little bit of trial and error, and have some fun while you're doing that. So we have to hear, Corey and I are really interested in some of the favorite characters that you do cosplay.
Yeah. My favorite would have to be Yennefer from the Netflix show The Witcher, and also Ron Weasley from Harry Potter. He's the best character. He's just silly and fun, and I could really let loose on that character. So that was Sam.
Okay.
For me, Carm, I would say Jack Sparrow, because I love the transformation. I love all the makeup that I get to put on. I become basically a totally different person, with the wig and the facial hair and everything. And he's just so fun to embody. You get to be a pirate all day. And probably also Wanda from WandaVision, the new Marvel show. She's been in the Avengers as well. But I'm having a lot of fun with all her different costumes. She has so many in that show.
Me, for Aileen, I really love doing Harley Quinn. I just don't, I feel like I don't have any restrictions when I'm her, and I could be whatever I want to be. I could be wild and crazy and chaotic, and it's completely opposite to who I am, as a person. So, and I also love being my princesses. I do Rapunzel and Belle, because I love bringing smiles to kids' faces and doing events and stuff like that.
It's so, the energy, the enthusiasm is so fantastic. It's infectious, actually. And I think it's probably has a lot to do with, obviously you're very talented to be able to, to our listeners, you got to check out the photos. You will not believe what you will see, because I was in awe when I saw what it is. Like you said, it's a lot more complicated than one might think. So what would be, in fact, some of the more difficult characters to replicate or to cosplay?
For me, Sam, it would be probably Hector from the Pixar movie Coco. Just because it's very heavily involved with the makeup. He's a skeleton, so I have to do a lot of makeup work on him.
Yeah.
For me, Carm, I would say I do a lot of foam armor, and for that, it's hard because of all the mobility issues. When you're wearing foam, you can't really move your torso a lot, and it sweats a lot because your body can't breathe through that. So it's a little uncomfortable. And also when I cosplay Edward Scissorhands, I'm dressed from head to toe in basically leather, and I can't use my hands because they're covered in the scissor hands. So it's a bit difficult to wear, definitely.
Yeah. For me, Aileen, I would probably say Harley Quinn again. Just because she has so many tattoos, and I really like to go for accuracy. So I'm always trying to place the tattoos exactly how she has them. And also she has a lot of jewelry too. So I always have to remember which earring goes on which ear and just crazy stuff like that.
A lot of details. Yeah.
The details is right. Just listening to you, I can imagine. Could you imagine walking around with Edward Scissorhands? And this cannot be easy. Wow, some mobility challenges, I'm sure. I'm very interested. We're talking, by the way, with the Estrada Sisters, Carmen and Samantha and Aileen, doing cosplay. And if you don't know what cosplay is, it's dressing in costumes. You do a lot of conventions. I guess that's where you wear a lot of your costumes. How do you decide where you go and what you wear?
Yeah, I think it's whatever's current, honestly,
whatever we're inspired by at the moment. Yeah. And if we decide to do a group cosplay, all three of us cosplay from the same series or movie or show, we'll kind of organize it based on which day we want to do it. So sometimes conventions are 2 to 3 days long, and we like to dress up for each one of those days. So we always have it organized ahead of time, what cosplay we're going to do. Yeah. So Saturday will usually be our most involved cosplay, our most elaborate, and then the Sunday will be like a comfier, winding down cosplay. Same for Friday.
That's interesting to me that even at a conference, you would be changing costumes each day. It's not even like okay, this is the character I'm doing for this conference. What I'm learning now is that you change each day. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta ask. I'm a parent. What are your 3 daughters doing this? What are your parents' reactions to this? What are some of the stuff that they say and support you?
They're proud of us, yeah. They've been used to us being like such creative kids since we were young, and we're very enthusiastic about it. So they love that we're doing what we love and that we're happy doing it.
Yeah, and also they don't ask questions when we come down the stairs wearing full facial hair, which is amazing.
And I have to ask, I've got my little entrepreneur hat on now. I mean, are you doing this just for the passion of it, or is there any revenue that you're generating? Are you hired by people? How does this work?
No, it's definitely just for the passion that we have for it. We don't really make any money off of it at all, but we do have our YouTube channel and everything, so we like to promote ourselves there and on our social medias, but we don't have any revenue currently.
Sure, and I would probably get my wrist slapped by cosplayers saying, "What? This isn't about money. This is about enjoying it." Well, good.
Crazy hobby.
Well, good for you guys. Really, congratulations. And we want to thank all 3 of you for coming on here on Life Unrehearsed. And we wish you have lots of fun in the upcoming year.
Thank you so much. It was our pleasure.
Having us.
All
so
right.
fun. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Aileen, Carmen, and Samantha Estrada. If you want to check them out, they have a great Facebook page, YouTube channel. Check out Estrada Sisters, and you can see their amazing costumes. All right, Corey, what do you have coming up next week?
Next week, we are bringing out the inner artists in everybody. We're going to talk to 2 fascinating guests. First, we have the co-founder of MU, which is an organization that beautifies the city of Montreal by creating murals that are anchored in local communities, including the famous Leonard Cohen mural downtown. And meet Lynn Lamarche. She's a storyboard artist whose talent is creating the magic of illustrating what the audience is saying.
Yeah, Lynn is amazing. She is there in business meetings and making things, what's said, visual, storyboard artist. Quite interesting. Well, thank you very much for tuning into Life Unrehearsed. And as a reminder, for all your inquiries or assistance with retirement homes, seniors residences, or downsizing, it'd be my pleasure to help. Our services are completely free. Call me at Lianas Senior Transition Support at 514-622-8074 or lianasservices.com. Many thanks to our technical producer, Jimmy G, and you can listen to Life Unrehearsed here on CJD 800 every Saturday at 3 p.m.